It's finally over, ladies and gentlemen. It's finally over. After many, many years, the final battle of Naruto Shippuden has actually just happened now. Like, the last two episodes, really for me and all that, like, was actually kind of the huge turning point for me, where it was so long, it felt so long since like I last really cared about the Shippuden anime in any way, even to the fact adding that it's been a very long time since I've cared for Naruto in general. With what we've had with the Boruto manga, there's been no real new material coming out. There's been like, you know, it kind of like stopped me kind of right there, and to see it now, like how they like after everything, period, held up their end of the deal and actually, like, you know, made the final battle of Naruto versus Sasuke like insane. Like, they absolutely, like, amazingly gorgeously animated, like heart-wrenching from start to finish and all that, just beyond like Sasuke, like, from there. And now that we can actually generally talk about these two episodes in general, like 476 and 477, let's get right into it. That final battle of Naruto. I think one thing is, like, definitely safe to say and all that, like, immediately with the first battle, is like, the first episode, especially the final battle, was, like, a lot of it didn't even really start till, like, around about, like, the 9-minute mark of it. It was, a lot of it was, like, one last reasoning, like, from Naruto, like, saying, like, come on, you stop doing that, and, like, you're gonna pretend that nothing ever happened between you and Itachi, you're gonna bet, or, like, weigh, like, the entire world's hatred on your back and all that, you know, you and Itachi were brothers and all that, and, like, you made, like, so, like, have so much things and all that, and you're just gonna throw that in, like, you know, behind you now, and it's just like, no, I'm cutting, like, all my past mistakes, I'm cutting Itachi out of my past, and I'm gonna be doing it, like, cutting you down. You're the last thing in my life and all that and all that. Yours will be the last blood I will shed and all that in the memory of my late brother. I will do this now, like, to end things off, and just this amazing, just like choreography, like battle just going off. Like, you can see it, like just huge amounts of like budget and animation just going in and pouring into this fight. It was so with a lot of like the 476 fight, there wasn't even any music, there wasn't even hardly any talking, like, in the actual battle itself. It was just these two just going at it like animals, like, for the most part, just using Susanos, using the Biju mode, like, or Zengards. Like, they're going absolutely, like, just at it, like, you know, beating the shit out of each other. And then it's not only till like the ending of the first half of this, where like Sasuke generally gets all the tail beasts like by his side and actually absorbs it into the Susanoo, kind of like what they had, like, you know, like a long time ago, and he just made it into this massive, just enhanced version of the Susanoo. And even Naruto having to use like all like the sage like energy around his side to transform it to actually have that three-headed version where we get to see like Kurama, and it's just seeing like how much damage this thing was actually doing. Like, this like insane like Susanoo, like, as it was like generally just taking on the Kuramas, it was absolutely insane. I think a lot of people's favorite moment is definitely probably once they got out of like the entire other Susanos in the Kurama, where like you saw like the huge blast just go off in the sky, shredding anything apart. My favorite moment, like, personally, was actually when they were like straight out, completely exhausted, beating, like, they had like no energy, they had no stamina left within them, and this is like the last thing they were doing. Is like genuinely, like, I felt so bad for Naruto. Like, I just one scene when he was like, he's got a Rasengan, he could finish it all off, and then he just hasn't got the energy, he just like trips over, and Sasuke just like kicks him and boots him in the face, and just literally just starts pummeling the shit out of him into the ground. And it's just like, you feel the weight of those punches, you feel the weight of like all that emotion. And like, now is a very good time to compare, like, definitely the three of like the versions of this fight, which is the manga, the games, like Storm Force, like, and then also as well this. Definitely, like, I can say immediately for what this version I really liked a lot was, like, the choreography was just absolutely gorgeous. I love that the animation was insane, loved the art direction. I really did like a lot of the stuff that they were doing in this fight, and definitely it did something what the manga, which I had a little bit of an issue with, is that they were using moves that I was expecting. Like, I thought they were going to go through like the history of all their moves, like, you know, Sasuke was using the fire style, he was using all these different like kind of techniques, he was using the kidding, like, which was like one of my favorite moves from Sasuke. I absolutely loved that, and that was something that was kind of like not omitted from like the manga, but it just was never like mentioned into that, since like there was only so many chances that he could do like to do that stuff. What meanwhile, when you got like 20 minutes of like, you know, just like time and all that to, like, to do in like one half, and then the second half is, you know, you got around about like 40 minutes by your side, so you can do like a lot more with the material, which I definitely really loved about this fight. And it's just like, it just felt like when you felt it so much and all that, when you had like the literally they're punching each other, they kept going to the ground, and it was just like leading up to the final like actual clash when they like he punches him into that like massive just rock, and they just both like jump up and clash into it. It's just like they've got no more chakra. Like even Sasuke had to steal some of Naruto's from like the Karaba, like, and just ending it off right there. That was like the way how you end off the episode. And definitely I know a lot of people, like especially like me, who just honestly just gave up on the series. Like they generally just gave up on the anime, whereas like I like even with like it was coming back to canon, it was just like I don't care anymore. It's like I honestly generally felt like too little too late at this point, and I'm kind of glad that like the anime kind of like proved me wrong, that there's still, you know, hope for series, and that they actually wanted to generally end it off like, you know, here. And I know the fact that they want to obviously adapt like the novels, and they want to probably do maybe Naruto the Last, and they want to do that. This, like, and probably next week's episode is, I feel like, is a perfect send-off, because I don't think we're going to have chapter 700. I don't think that's going to happen for a very, very long-ass time to the series, but I can definitely, like, be very happy the fact that, you know, this happened, like, you know, and I witnessed it, and I was just so happy and just over the moon with it. I was just generally like, you know, just started like I was starting to tear up when I was seeing the fight. Like it was generally getting to me. Like I absolutely loved that. Like I will say, if anything, the small tiddliest little thing, like as much as like the way it of the like the first half is like without any music, I think I would have liked to hear like some old tunes go off in the background whilst that was happening. Like because I kind of like Stormfall's like soundtrack a lot. I loved when they were doing the final fight, and it was like way in the emotion, and that's why I felt like the second half of the fight was way better than the second episode. I generally think it was like so much more done, and it was like a lot more high quality, especially when you just saw the two of them like out of energy just punching each other to the ground like that, and like the little half of like the second episode, it was just so goddamn good. It was so emotional, and I loved it. Like I loved this episode from start to finish, and I know that's like the tiniest nitpick, and it's like anything like of AMVs or anything could actually sort that out and like do anything, but I was like, I feel like it felt a lot more like, you know, meaningful with the music in there, and that, like, if that's generally my only complaint, then you got nothing to fear and all that, guys, and all that, because like it was beautifully choreography, it was amazing animation, art direction, it was just everything that we wanted from the final fight, and I'm very happy the fact that, like, you know, Period, they held up. Like, they held up the end of the bag, where it was like, they always kept promising, like, you know, like, selling these tall tales where it's like, yeah, we're gonna do this, man. We're gonna, like, make sure that this is the most emotional moment in Naruto. And they did. Like, they generally did. They held up to it, and I like this version. Like, I know people are going to be like, oh, heresy. I like this version more than I do the game, and I like this version way more than I do, like, than the manga. Like, I think this is a way better version of the manga. Like, it's, like, part of it. And because that was my problem with the manga story. It was just so goddamn short. Like, and I just loved this version. It was just absolutely fantastic. Like, so, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, what did you think about this, like, final episode and all that? Like, well, like, what did you think about the Naruto and Sasuke fight finally coming into an end? Like, what do you think about that finale as well? Them two clashing, and like definitely with next, I think like I want to maybe do next week's episode, but like I don't know where they're going to go from there. Like, are they just going to do, like, I doubt they're going to do chapter 700, and they probably want to adapt the novels, and they want to do Naruto the Last, and they probably want to do all this material. So yeah, it might be a while since like I probably talk about a Naruto episode, like probably maybe like next week's one, but that's maybe it after that, because like I felt like, you know, like Shippuden was like too little too late with like the final fight, but you know, it brought back hope to me. It did and all that, and I'm like, I'm happy that they did something that kind of meant a lot to a lot of Naruto fans and a lot of people who really enjoy the series as well, and I'm just happy. Like, I'm happy that, you know, like this, like the series had its send-off. Like to me, this is the series send-off, regardless if it keeps making episodes. This was the send-off that I wanted and all that for the series. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, but that's all from me. I'll see you guys though in a bit.